Hey there, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name's Momo and I'm happy to have you here. Today I'm going to be showing you the most recent nail design that I have had on my nails. You'll see here that I'm starting off with luminary gel on my nails. I don't always say this, but unless I say otherwise, always on my nails as a base is a layer of builder gel, and that is pretty much always luminary gel. And I'm going to show you how I use stamping actually along with this magnetic polish to create what I think is a really beautiful nail set. And also I'll show you what my initial inspiration was and what I did to these nails a week after having done them to change up the look a little bit. So you'll see that I'm using this polish here. This is a magnetic gel from Madam Glam. It's nice. It's purple. It's called Lost in New York, and the last time I used it was actually around this time of year last year, which was when Madam Glam sent it over in PR. And yeah, I really like their magnetic polishes. They're easy to work with. They're not the most vibrant I've ever seen in my whole life, but they really show up. You know, there's some that are just, they don't really make any sort of impact. And these I would say are like medium in terms of hitting you over the head with cat eye effect. So anyway, I am going ahead and applying this all over, and you'll see that I'm taking my time to get a nice application on here, and then I'm using a bar magnet to run along either side of the nail and then along the top and the bottom. And I've said this a million times, but if this is your first time here, this is kind of how I treat any magnetic gel polish unless I have something more specific in mind. So I've found that the best way to get a magnetic gel polish to be activated, quote unquote, is to just do this. It sort of pushes all the magnetic bits upward and creates that velvety cat eye shifting effect. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that on each nail. Same process. You may remember if you saw my last video that I recently received PR from Maniology for the first time, which is a stamping company. And when they asked me to pick out some stamping plates and some stamping polishes, I had a very specific idea in mind, and that's this manicure here today. So I'm going to be pulling out the animal print plate, and I'm taking a little makeup blending sponge. I forget what these are called, makeup applicator or something like that. And I am going ahead and removing any little excess polish or anything that was left over on that plate. And I'm going to be using this purple polish to stamp with. So I'm just going ahead and using the zebra print plate right here, just applying the polish on the top here and scraping it off. And if you're curious about more tips for stamping and you didn't see my last video, feel free to go back. There are also a number of people who stamp on here who have more experience as well. So anyway, the first stamp that I did picked up pretty well, but I will say that I placed it kind of incorrectly because it was the thumb. You kind of need to, or at least for my thumb size, I needed to place it directly in the middle in order for the stamp to cover the whole thumb. So you'll see that I'm just removing it, and this is obviously really simple to do, especially if you're using gel. I assume that if you had painted your nails like a base color and then the stamp didn't work out, you'd have to go back and repaint your nails and then restamp. So it seems like there are a lot of benefits to stamping onto gel, although I know that a lot of people stamp with regular polish and that works very well as well. Now is probably a good time to remind you that I am a Maniology ambassador. If you're interested in these products, I do have a code. I'll pop it up on screen. No pressure, of course, at all. But yes, in case you're interested. So I'm going ahead and wiping down the plate, which you do after every pass, and getting it nice and clean. And you can see that I'm kind of switching between that sponge and the lint-free wipe. I will say the lint-free wipes work really well. Probably that's what I'll end up doing for the most part in the future. I also heard the suggestion of using a blue shop towel, and I did order some out of curiosity, but lint-free wipes I think are the way to go. The shop towels do sort of break down a little bit. So there's my head as usual. Hi head. Nice to see you. One day I'll figure it out. And there we go. We've got the first nail pretty much done, although I'm pretty sure I actually did off camera go back and fix that one. So the thumb was a little tricky. What I ultimately ended up doing was just picking up a small bit of the stamp and doing most of the stamp across the nail and then adding a little stripe on the side just to cover the full thumb. I don't know if I have extra wide thumbs or what, but that's what I ended up doing off camera. So as I continue to do this on each of the nails, I'm curious, how are you doing? It's been a while. It's not been that long this time, but it's been a second. Things have been sort of stressful over here. What else is new? I know a lot of you have kids. I know they probably are going back to school. How is that going for you? How are you feeling about the summer coming to an end? I'm already seeing Halloween decorations up around my neighborhood, and I have to say, I'm not upset about it. I'm actually kind of feeling into Halloween this year. So that's exciting. Back to the nails, you'll see that I'm done with the pointer finger, and even though it's messy, I already think it looks really pretty to me. I don't know if that's just me. I really, really enjoy the way this turned out, and I will actually be showing you 2 ways to do this design. One, this first way is what I ended up wearing for like a week, and then the second way was what I actually had intended to do based on an Instagram post I had seen a long time ago. So yeah, stick around to see how I adapted these nails basically a week into wearing them to make them more close to the original design idea I had in mind. I wanted to point out here, by the way, that I'm going ahead and patting down the stamp onto my nail. Something I noticed is that you kind of end up, the stamp dries out a little bit, which is good. It's supposed to, obviously. But that means that basically like little bits of the stamp can kind of start lifting off the nail when you initially stamp it down. So you can kind of just press that down with your finger. And also, I know some people recommend using, well, I'm not sure what's recommended. The only thing I've seen recommended for stamping onto gel nails is to leave the tacky layer on the nail so that the stamping polish has something to stick onto. I didn't do that just because I find leaving the tacky layer on my nails for any length of time ends up being, kind of messy. So I removed the tacky layer, and I really didn't have much issue at all with stamping onto, freshly cleansed gel nails. So make of that what you will. But I will say maybe with the tacky layer, that little bit of lifting around the edges wouldn't happen where you have to kind of press it down. So, yep, we're finishing up with the last one here. And I don't know if it was this design, this stamping like plate design or what, but I had a pretty easy time, all things told, doing these nails. And I pretty much left them in real time, a little bit of editing in between, but these came together really, really quickly. And I think they look really beautiful. So here they are. I mean, I feel like even messy, they look phenomenal to me. I really love the way the cat eye interacts with this pattern and the purple on purple. I just think it's really pretty. Anyway, maybe that's just me. I never know. So I ended up trying a number of ways to clean up the polish that gets around the nails and around the cuticle area of the nails. You'll see that here I'm using a lint-free wipe. Initially, I had tried out the detail brush, but quickly realized that for big chunks of polish that were far away from the nail, it didn't make a ton of sense to use the detail brush. However, you can see here that I'm trying to use the detail brush around the cuticle area, which works well. Definitely that works. And what you'll ultimately see is that, well, actually you won't see it. It's something that I figured out on my own after I was done with this set, that if you're using gel and stamping, you don't actually have to worry so much about removing the stamping polish that's on your skin. because ultimately you can encapsulate your stamping design in a top coat, and after that's done curing, you can just take a wipe with acetone and remove the tacky layer of the top coat and also remove the stamping polish at the same time. So what's more important is kind of what I'm doing here, which is taking this little Q-tip and creating a clean perimeter basically around the cuticle area of the nail. Sorry, I'm going off camera a little bit there, but you can see what I'm doing. I have dipped this little cotton swab. It's a very specific type of cotton swab. I'm not sure what they're called. If I can find it, I'll put it in the description or pop it in here. But I'm using that to really create a clean line around the perimeter of the nail. And really that's all you have to do, I would say, if you're stamping with gel polish. So off camera, I went ahead and finished the last little bit of that. And now I'm taking this Izemi top coat and taking great care to cover all of the stamping with the top coat. And, you know, I actually meant to go back in and file around the edges, kind of like I would with a chrome, because whenever you're using a non-gel element, whether it's chrome or pigment powder or airbrush, or in this case, stamping polish, it always makes sense to, around the edge of your nail, around the bottom edge of your nail or the free edge, to create a little beveled area kind of where you've filed off anything that isn't gel around the tip of the nail, so that when you put the top coat on, it has something at the tip to adhere to that isn't that non-gel thing, whether it's chrome or stamping polish or pigments or airbrush. So I should have done that, but I forgot to. And basically what I was thinking was I will do one layer of top coat that has, without filing, just so I can encapsulate, the stamping polish and get that out of the way. And then I'll file and I'll go back in with another top coat. I didn't end up doing that, and I didn't really have much trouble. But I just want to put that out there, that that's probably what I would recommend, is going ahead and filing around the free edge to make sure you get any of the stamping polish off before doing your final top coat. So I'm finishing up with that here, and I'm going to pop these into the lamp to cure. And then I will be out with the final result here. Well, the first final result. So I don't know. I know that I love cat eye, so it could just be me, but are these not stunning? I really like this pattern with the cat eye, and that's why I wore it for a whole week before doing what I had originally intended to do, which was to matte it out. I couldn't matte out the beautiful shininess. And I don't know if anyone else who does matte nails occasionally has this problem, but I just find it difficult sometimes to, when I want to do a matte design, to actually bite the bullet and matte out something that looks beautiful when it's shiny. But anyway, this is the inspiration I had for these nails. You can see there is kind of an abstract design on the nails with a colorful cat eye underneath, which creates that kind of velvet nail. And then there is a line of reflective glitter kind of run throughout certain parts of the nail. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And I did just show you that this is an interesting top coat. It is a matte top coat, but it cures with a sticky layer. So it doesn't look matte until you remove that sticky layer, which is kind of interesting. And there we go. Here these are matte. I mean, they're also beautiful. Don't get me wrong. They are very, very stunning. I think especially the design that I had in mind, that inspiration design, it's very beautiful. It's very pretty. Yeah, so very striking. And the way I'm going to be achieving that after having matted these nails out is to take a top gel. In this case, I'm using the Sunbake top gel. It's nice for 3D designs. It's nice and raised, and it's also no wipe. Two important things to me. And I'm basically just creating really thin lines along kind of the zebra print design. And I'm going to be sugaring on reflective glitter to create that contrast between the matte nail and the super extra shiny reflective glitter. And yeah, that's all I'm doing. I'm going to let you watch the rest of it because it's pretty straightforward. I always enjoy, I hope you enjoy, but I always enjoy watching sugaring. It feels very fun to me to watch the nails come together in that way. Also, before I go, I have to ask, please let me know which of these two designs you prefer in the comments. I'm so curious. I was torn. I really love the way that they're super shiny with the shiny top coat, but I do think there's something very compelling about the matte top coat with the reflective glitter. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Anyway, I hope to see you very soon. If you liked the video, I hope you'll like it. Comment if you would like to subscribe, follow, some of those things. Maybe not all of those things were things you can do on YouTube. I can't remember, but I'm sure you know. So thank you again for being here, and I look forward to seeing you again soon with another video. Bye.